All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Driveway Engineer. I'm JR. Today, I'm going to work on my Dodge. And we'll talk a little bit first about, projects being stalled out. It happens to the best of us, right? There's no particular reason I haven't worked on this. There's a very long list of things that are all relatively minor by themselves that need to be done in order to even get it to fire up. And I think about it and I make excuses and I say, oh, it's too cold, or oh, whatever. But the longest journey begins with a single step. So today I'm not going to fire this thing today, but we'll make some progress on it and we'll set the groundwork for later. I think that what happened last time is I shut the hood and the cable wouldn't open it, and that pretty much just made me cover it up and walk away from it for several months. So I'll go ahead and set the camera up and we'll move on to seeing what we can get done here. I guess the number one thing to keep in mind with anything is, progress is progress. It doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes a day. It doesn't matter if it's one thing a week. Just drive yourself to do something and you'll get somewhere eventually. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. I think I forgot to hit record on the time lapse, but it doesn't really matter. It was embarrassingly short. All I had to do was pry up on the hood. It was just sitting down too far. It's not actually popping, it's opening. So what do I have to do to this thing to actually make some noise? The hold down for the distributor, I got the HEI style. It doesn't quite go in all the way, so I need to take that back down to the house and grind it a little more. There's no valve cover gaskets, there's no valve cover bolts. I need to hit the junkyard up for that stuff. There's no radiator, clearly. That's a trip to the junkyard someday. Not concerned about it today. Mainly what I need to do to make it at least spin around, which is my goal for the day. I used a newer 3.5, 4.7, newer Dodge style starter, and it has a single wire trigger. You guys saw it a week ago or so. I got this out of the junkyard out of a 4.7 Durango. So I need to splice this wire to this, and with a battery I should be able to trigger the starter and spin it over. I have a battery cable run back to the starter already. It's currently straight underneath the exhaust dump, conveniently, but I have a cable. So what I need to do here is find a ground. I have a ground at the house, so I need a bolt to the block and that starter trigger wire and some oil in it, and she should spin over. Oh, the other thing I wanted to do was make sure that this that there was no interference anywhere with this carburetor to the intake, and there isn't, so I can just get straight normal studs and a gasket. That carburetor's just sitting there, and that will bring me slightly closer to actually being able to fire the thing. At that point, all I need is 12 volts to the HEI, which I can just hook straight to the battery. If I get the timing right, it should fire. I don't have any spark plugs or wires. I have spark plugs and wires, I don't have them on. That'll probably be a project for tomorrow. While I was messing around, I broke the dipstick, so I got to get a screw or something to get in there so I can pull that out. I'm not too concerned about the valve cover breathers or PCV or anything like that, but I do kind of need to get some gaskets in it and get the valve covers at least bolted down so all my oil don't fall out. Yeah, I think that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and get back to work here. All right, welcome back. Let's see what kind of nonsense I got here. I've made up a trigger wire that's way longer than needed. I'll wrap it up. This is one of those melty solder connectors. I like them. That'll allow me to trigger the starter. I grabbed the finest in oil and oil filters from straight out of Bentonville, Arkansas. I have a ground cable. This is the one from my junkyard 6-liter, and it looks like it'll totally go to the head without a real problem. I just gotta find a bolt, which I'm not gonna do today. So yeah, I think I will go ahead and wrap that up, get it installed in the starter, pull all the cables forward, see if I can't dump some oil in this. I'm not really sure how, oh yeah, I can totally dump oil in there. I wasn't sure how generous the lip on these heads was, but it's pretty good. So I can dump oil in there without it pouring out everywhere, which is cool. So yeah, I'll dump, you know, some oil in there, throw the filter on, and we'll be one step closer. I'll bring you guys back when that's done. All right, so there's my trigger wire. There's the world's loudest GMC Jimmy. There's my starter wire. There's my ground cable hooked to nothing. I discovered that you cannot pour oil in this without a valve cover gasket. So there's a bunch of oil all down the head, or whatever, that'll be fine. There's the oil filter installed. And there we have some incremental progress. I'm sorry it's not much, guys, but if I can figure out what size bolts go in those heads, I'll scrounge around and see if I can't figure that out, and see if we can't crank this thing over at least. Like I said, I have the spark plugs, I have the wires. I'm getting pretty close to firing this up. My plan to deal with this is to just not deal with that in the short term. All I have to do is, like I said, feed 12 volts to that starter, trigger it, 12 volts to the HEI, and it'll run. So we'll revisit that some warmer time. Anyway, short, sweet, not a huge update on the old D100, but I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're still into the D100. I kind of am, depends on my mood. But you know, on your own project, just keep that in mind. Just get up and go do something. I'm closer now than I was before. So we'll see you next time, guys, on The Driveway Engineer.